The wind carried a crisp chill as I stepped onto the park path, my hands gripping the edges of my coat. It had been a long day, the kind that weighed on my shoulders like an invisible anchor. I needed air, space, anything to clear my head. That's when I noticed the boy. He sat on a wooden bench, a small puzzle box beside him. His fingers moved carefully, fitting pieces together with quiet focus. He couldn't have been more than 7 or 8, his oversized jacket swallowing his small frame. I slowed my pace, drawn by the peculiar sight. A puzzle in a park? In this fast-moving world of phones and tablets, it felt out of place, nostalgic almost. He held the last piece in his hand, hovering over the nearly completed picture. Then, suddenly, he sighed and let his hand drop to his lap. I hesitated before speaking. "Looks like you're almost done." The boy glanced up, startled at first. Then he shrugged. "It's missing a piece." I stepped closer, scanning the ground. "Maybe it fell?" He shook his head. "It was never there." A strange sadness crept into his voice. He stared at the incomplete puzzle, the single empty space glaring back at him. I recognized that look, the quiet frustration of wanting something whole, something finished, but knowing it was just out of reach. I exhaled, feeling an unexpected lump in my throat. "That's tough," I admitted, "putting in all that work and not being able to finish it." The boy nodded, his small fingers tracing the edges of the puzzle. "My dad gave it to me. He said we'd finish it together." He paused, swallowing hard. "But he left before we could." Something in my chest tightened. "Oh." Silence settled between us, the kind that says more than words ever could. I looked at the puzzle again, the empty space now feeling much heavier than before. Then, slowly, I sat down beside him. "You know," I said, choosing my words carefully, "sometimes things don't end the way we expect, but that doesn't mean they're not worth something." The boy didn't respond right away. He just looked at the puzzle again, his fingers hesitating over the missing spot. Then, after a long pause, he carefully closed the box. "I guess it's still a good puzzle," he murmured. I smiled. "Yeah, it really is. Double quotes. As I got up to leave, I glanced back one last time. The boy was holding the puzzle box tightly, as if holding onto something unseen. Maybe in that moment, he had realized something I was only just starting to understand. Not every story needs an ending to have meaning. Sometimes, even with a missing piece, the picture is still worth cherishing.